Hey again, I'm going to do 2 videos today. I don't know when I'm going to post them, but I'm going to do 2 of them. And this one I'm going to talk about racism. Everybody, a lot of people saying that we need a discussion, we need to have a discussion about race. And maybe we do, maybe we don't. I go back and forth about that. I think the discussion that we are having is a complete fallacy and a lie. I lived in Atlanta for like 10 years and I was married for a black woman for 15 years and had a bunch of kids with her. She was killed in a car wreck, and here I am still alive. I was in that car wreck too, by the way, but I was just crippled basically. But anyway, we know what we knew what racism was like from every angle. From white people, from black people. Every human being on earth can be racist. I don't care about what the power structure was for how many years. The whole white privilege thing is a complete crock of shit. In a way it's not, but in a way it is completely a crock of shit, because those institutions are no longer around, number one. And number two, racism from black people hurts white people, just like the other way around. It does not do anything to heal it doesn't make anything right. And it's just not for black and white people. Any group of people who is prejudiced against any person for any reason. There's a lot of people who think that if you don't date outside your race, you're a racist. Not true. Not true. I'm attracted to all women. Period. I don't, but that's me. There's a lot of people who prefer to stay within their own race, or maybe they like everything but one specific, maybe they don't find them attractive. Is that racism? No, that's called preference. It's part of the evolution, sexual selection, I think it's called. It's an individual thing, and for the most part, races do tend to stick to their own kind, and there's nothing wrong with that. We have all these different racial and ethnic groups in the world for a reason. If they didn't, if everybody just, then those groups would start to disappear. Maybe that'll happen in the distant future. It doesn't matter to me now. I don't want white people to go away because of what our ancestors did. I don't want black people to go away because of what their ancestors did. I don't want Arabs to go away because of what their ancestors did. These things are done, and they're evil. Slavery still exists in the world, people. And it exists in the Middle East, from what I understand, for the most part. And then there's this sex trafficking. This shit has nothing to do with race. It just has to do with people being assholes. We need to stop injecting race into every situation and call it for what it is. People being assholes to one another, period. I could talk about Barack Obama. Back in the day in 2008 when I was still not an anarchist, statist, I guess you could say. I voted for that motherfucker. You know, I didn't vote for him because he was a black man. Voted for him because he was a smooth talker. But immediately they made everything about race. It served his administration well. And now with Trump in office, they're still making it about race. They wanted another black person or a woman in office. And I'm going to tell you, it doesn't matter who's in office. It's still, your lives are being ran by a group of people who ain't got no business running your life. It's your life. So, I really think that racism doesn't really mean the same thing that it used to. It's being used in a way to get other agendas across or to shut up an argument or whatever. That's what it's being used for. Honestly, I'd like to see more minorities. I don't even like calling them minorities because shit, I look at things in a world view sort of thing, you know. I look at the world, you know, there's less white people in the world than there is any other group. So white people are a minority in the world, but in this country, the United States, black people are a minority, Hispanic people are a minority. It just even the word minority doesn't literally mean what it means. But I would love to see more minorities go off the grid and live differently. Up here where I'm living, a lot of people live off the grid. Not a lot of minorities. There's a lot of Hispanic people up here, not of Native Americans, but not a lot of other minorities. They like staying in the city. I know when Monica was alive, she loves living in the city, and we lived in the city. I went along with it. I mean, it was okay. I would never live in a city again to save my life. But it is what it is. I just think that the conversation that people need to have about race is to first discuss the lies that are being told about race by the media, by these different political groups. We call them activist groups who have other agendas. Black Lives Matter, that whole racial thing, to me, is just a cover for something else. Antifa, bunch of young white kids calling other white people racist. It doesn't seem to, it just doesn't do the world or our country or our cause as a human race any good. We need to understand one thing I could say about race, and I think that this thing that I'm about to say kind of trumps everything else that can be said about race. Yes, there's different races, and they do have differences on this level and that level, but we're all human beings. We're all humans. I would even say that we're all the same race, but there's sub-races. So why don't we just stop worrying about race so much and just kind of be humans and try to get along with one another and cooperate with one another, huh? That seems like a lot better of a solution to me than all this bickering about this and about that. All this bickering about everything. religions, flags, a bunch of inconsequential, ultimately meaningless and temporary things in this world. But anyway, I've pretty much said everything I want to say. I would love to hear what people have to say about this issue in the comments, whether on YouTube or Steemit, wherever you're commenting. And we could have this discussion that everybody's dying to have about race. Anyway, peace.